My God, they swept the Lakers.
This is Steve Kerr, and you're listening to the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game.
Had a little Michael Irvin to it. Can we play them back to back? The oh my God and then the oh my God, the Lakers.
Put me on the spot. Keep talking. Hold on.
Okay, my bad. You put a finger up like it was going to happen. It's my fault. You good, B?
No, I'm just looking at some things. I'm looking at some things.
Yeah?
I'm always good. I'm always good in the hood. Shout out to everybody out there
You good
waking
in the
up
West,
with us
Ja?
on Tuesday. Ja's not good in the West.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Ja's not good in the West.
Now that, chef's kiss. Giants are looking better in the West.
That was okay. Yeah, Giants look all right. Lutman's dying to get in the Giants, by the way.
Lutman, give me 30
Lutman's
seconds on the
dying.
Giants.
He's like every single break before the show, during the breaks, So you want to get the baseball here? Oh, you want to get the baseball here? Oh, you want to get the baseball here? Oh, you want to get the
I
baseball
don't
here?
think I'm asking that often.
Oh,
Well, then
you asked
give
me
us your
15
Giants
times.
takes. Sean Mania.
He nutted that thing.
Yeah, man, he had a kind of a coming around outing last night. I don't know. Hopefully he can, maybe build on that. And I can't say that with a straight face. No, he had a good night last night, though. It was a good win.
Good
Michael
win for the
Conforto looking really good.
Lamont Wade Jr. as a leadoff man, I'm going to be real. I laughed at that. I scoffed at it, in fact. He takes a lot of pitches. He will swing with 2 strikes. Clearly has an unbelievable on-base percentage because he's drawn a ton of walks. I was really wrong about Lamont Wade headed into this year. They were right, and I was way wrong. Not only can he play first defensively, which I completely didn't see coming, offensively, as a leadoff man, though not the traditional prototype that I'm looking for, he does a lot of the things that you do look for in a leadoff man in terms of taking pitches and being able to put the ball in play with 2 strikes and drawing walks.
Didn't have his best game yesterday. Drew a walk, 0 for 3, 1 run. But I get your
Gabe
point.
Kapler in the postgame said that he thought the opening at bat of the game changed the game. It's like,
okay.
Interesting, Gabe. The opening at bat changed the game.
That's what you know. You can tell right off that first at bat of the game. It tells you everything you need to know. That's how baseball works. Everyone knows that.
I would disagree with Kapler. Say Michael Conforto's home run changed the game.
Conforto's coming around.
Yeah, that's why I said yesterday you don't trade him. You're talking about trading him.
Well, because you can get something back, it's all about the future.
I don't want to keep him, especially if you're in it. I'd rather just keep him. Just ride it out. Just ride it out. What's the point? Just hurry up and flip it up for a guy we won't see until next year. If you're in it, keep him. But that was the at bat to me to change the game. It's a 3-run home run, 4-0. The walk.
I'm just telling you what Gabe Kapler said.
I disagree with Gabe Kapler. It's like Lamont Wade with 0 for 3 yesterday, man. What are we doing? What are we doing? 95.7 The Game, thousands of other stations and millions of podcasts are free. The Odyssey app. Shout out to everybody at the summit yesterday. That was awesome. Buon Vino put on a great show, great setup, great wine. Met some great people. Judy, she stole the show at the end, giving her takes on the Golden State Warriors. What did she say? She said Draymond had to go?
Yes.
She said Draymond had to go. That was a pro Draymond has to go crowd.
She was talking about business evolving.
Yep. It all evolves. I'm trying to get over that trade proposal, which just seems, the more and more I think about it, I was like, oh my God, please, Bob Myers or Joe Lacob, do not listen to Mark Willard. That is an awful deal. The Celtics would accept that now. Imagine that, just for a second. I've said on the front end, Jaylen Brown is probably a better player than Andrew Wiggins. Although I don't think the gap is as wide as what people think. Would you feel comfortable paying Jaylen Brown $295 million? Jaylen Brown. Think about that. Jaylen Brown.
I mean, they paid Jordan Poole for about a year and a half's body of work, $140 million. So
up to 140. 123.
I know. Like,
123 is different than $300 million.
I hear you. These numbers are astronomical.
Yeah,
to me.
but that's $177 million less than Jaylen Brown.
I'm not surprised anyone's making that kind of money. He came into the league and got to play right away and has taken his team to the Eastern Conference Finals 3 years in a row, I believe. And they went to the finals once. He's 25 right now? I'm not surprised.
I think Jordan Poole has a very team-friendly contract, a very tradable contract. Andrew Wiggins has a very team-friendly contract, a very tradable contract. I'm just asking. Are we comfortable paying Jaylen Brown and making him the richest or the highest paid player in the NBA? $300 million.
If Steph wants it, I'd be in on it, but I'd have a tough time.
As a fan, I'm asking you as a fan, would you like to pay Jaylen Brown $300 million?
To me, the money in terms of like the maximum deals and whatnot, like if you're in your prime and you're healthy, that's what these guys are getting. It's when
I don't care.
The number one thing.
I'm not asking that.
I know, but when you talk to like executives, and I've come around on this, and this is now my thinking, the number one thing that is the hardest thing to swallow as a fan is paying for a guy not to play or paying maximum money for a guy to play so poorly that you have to put them on the bench. And I'm talking about not to play as in they're injured.
Okay, but would you pay Jaylen Brown $300 million?
If I acquired him in a big-time trade, you'd probably have to pay him.
You have to.
Yeah.
But how would you feel about that?
Not great. I don't feel great about paying Klay Thompson the ninth most amount of money this year. So,
okay, so there you go.
Like I admit I have kind of a, sticker shock on a lot of these things.
He's eligible for a $295 million Supermax extension. Jaylen Brown. Is he a top 20 player? Probably. I get it. He averaged 26 points per game. That's fine. His head ball handling. I mean, God, it's $300 million for Jaylen Brown.
Well, what do you
my
think
God.
he's worth?
Not $300 million.
Okay, so what, 200?
Yeah, I guess that's the going rate. But I like the contracts I have now. Can I navigate without getting a Jaylen Brown? What's the big drop off? Like OG Anunoby's a guy, right? Everybody brings him up, bring him up. What's the big? Is there a huge drop off from Jaylen Brown to OG Anunoby? Maybe a bigger drop off from Andrew Wiggins to OG Anunoby. But that's what I'm looking at.
I've seen OG Anunoby do it in big time playoff games.
Right.
Excuse me. I've seen Jaylen Brown do it in big time playoff games. So that's where I think the pushback would be.
Right. But I'm looking at Andrew Wiggins and I'm saying to myself, outside of Steph Curry, he was the best player in the finals.
Oh, I agree.
So like the drop off between Andrew Wiggins and Jaylen Brown alone, I'm thinking, let me pay Andrew Wiggins, who's now making, what is his contract extension? Let me pull his contract extension up. I forgot what his was, but he took a very team-friendly deal. And I'd rather pay Andrew Wiggins, and I get it, he left for 25 straight games. Now, we were told it was personal, and we're not going to get into that.
But he also missed 20 games, essentially, because of sickness.
Right adductor
thing.
So First time he's been hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
First time he's been hurt. First
Exactly.
time he's dealt with issues like this.
Yeah.
But you look at Andrew Wiggins' contract. Okay, he signed a 4-year, $109 million contract for Andrew Wiggins. $25 million a year.
It's a good deal.
That's a very good deal.
I agree. I think it's their best value on the team.
I would rather keep Wiggins, knowing that, okay, he's probably going to play a lot more games than he did this year. And did he lose some trust within the organization? I don't know. The organization threw him right in the starting lineup right away and had him playing high-level basketball. I would rather keep Andrew Wiggins and go get a Jaylen Brown.
The only deal that I'm really like, oh, yeah, okay, I see that. Trading Andrew Wiggins is for an elite big. I just don't see that trade materializing. I don't know if I'm swapping him for another perimeter player.
Yeah, I'm good off that. Let's go to Eric in Dublin.
Would you throw Klay Thompson in there as opposed to Wiggins?
So Klay Thompson instead of Wiggins?
I'm just asking. I don't know.
So you go
Is there
Jaylen Brown?
another deal that
So
you like?
Instead, you would go Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole, and Kuminga?
No, I still think that's a lot of money to give up for him, but you would have to make the money match up. So I don't think you have to throw in Kuminga in that kind of a deal.
So it's just Kuminga. So then it would just be Klay and Poole for Jaylen Brown and Brogdon.
Yeah.
And why the hell would the Boston Celtics do that?
I'm just asking. I don't know.
All right?
I'm just asking.
Because part of the allure of Andrew Wiggins is he's under contract for the next 3 years. Part of the allure of Jordan Poole is he's under contract for the next 4 years. Part of the allure of Jonathan Kuminga is he's a young prospect who has a couple years and it's a team-friendly deal.
Well, the Celtics would be able to have a freed-up spot at the end of the year with an expired cap spot. Again, I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah.
They need some shooting. They have a clear-cut number one in Jason Tatum, and then they can have an off-ball shooter in Klay Thompson. I don't know.
As Boston. Sure, why not? Jaylen Brown and Andrew Wiggins next to each other would be special. That would be great. That would be great. 2 perimeter defensive hawks. I would love that. But why would Boston do that? See, I like to look at it from the other side. Why would Boston do that?
I thought we were just throwing things out there.
No, we're not. We're throwing what Mark Willard threw out there, and I think it's a load of crap.
Okay.
Honestly, I think it's a lump of coal. I think it's a terrible deal for the Golden State Warriors. I just can't get over it.
So
I can't get over it.
What's the player or the deal that you're looking at?
I'm looking to see how the dominoes fall with the Golden State Warriors. What is Bob Myers going to do, and is Draymond Green going to opt in?
Okay.
And then what do I do about that?
Okay, so
my
if Draymond opts in, what do you
first order of business, personally, is I think you have to move off from Draymond Green. I think this is the
So you let him walk and get nothing back in return?
I'm hoping he opts in. You could do a sign and trade.
Gotcha.
But if he walks and you get nothing back, if you trade him, what are you really getting back from Draymond Green? That's the question you have to ask yourself.
That's the thing I don't have an answer to. I don't know how he's viewed and how many teams have a need for what he's providing.
There you go.
I mean, you look at some of the malcontents around the league, like DeAndre Ayton. It feels like DeAndre Ayton's on the move. Would they take Draymond? Probably not. I would be open to DeAndre Ayton. Don't love his attitude, but I'd be open-minded to something like that. He does give them some, inside presence to some degree, although he's a guy that hasn't played well with others. And then I look at someone like Chris Paul, who's also on Phoenix. He's going to be on the move. Most people don't want Chris Paul. I understand that. How many teams out there have guys that would or have a spot for Draymond Green? I just don't think there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
I don't think his market is as robust as he thinks it is, nor as what Warrior fans think it is.
I'll say this before we get to Eric in Dublin. I'd be more open to trading Clay and Dre than I would be Poole, Wiggins, and the rest of the guys.
I think I agree with that.
I would be more.
I've
come to that, but
I agree with that.
I'm a little hesitant with Clay because of the spacing and the 3-point shot making you need in today's game. And I don't know when we start taking for granted. Hey, a guy just made 300 threes in the season. How many times has that been done? How many times has that been done, folks? 300 made threes in a season. How many times has that been done? But we want to just get that guy up and laugh at it. Well, just say 300 threes is nothing. Whatever. 300 threes. He played good for a couple months. What? What?
Well, it was a mixed bag of a season. I mean, if we're going to have a Clay conversation, the reality is that, yes, he had phenomenal moments, and he had long stretches where it wasn't so good. And I do believe, I don't know if it's as extreme as saying, because JD was saying that he felt that the Klay Thompson aura all year was as impactful on the Warriors in a negative way as the punch. I don't know if I'd go that far.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
But I do think there's some truth to Klay's woes were a Debbie Downer for the team at times. I do think that that's real.
In terms of what?
In terms of the energy, I think that there was times at the beginning of the year where he was so focused on getting right that it kind of brought down the collective. And
it did early. It did early on in the season.
Yeah, and I also think it reared its head toward the end of the year.
They had team meeting about Klay Thompson taking bad shots when the team meeting should have been about Draymond Green on how to navigate through the season. But okay, we scapegoated Klay.
I don't think it's either.
But you know what Klay did? You know what Klay did? This is how this is. I knew this was a load of crap from JD yesterday, and I respect JD's opinion. But this was a load of crap to say that Klay Thompson had as bad as an attitude as Draymond Green this past season. They had the team meeting. They talked to him. What did Klay do right away? Did he not adjust?
He did. But
did he not get better with his shot selection?
I'm not taking anyone's temperature on attitude. We did the same thing with Kuminga and Jordan Poole, and I don't think it's fair. We don't know what these guys are doing at practice and stuff. So I'm not able to assess those.
Well, I kind of do. I kind of know what's going on.
You do.
Practice.
I don't.
And let me tell you, there's nobody who had a worse attitude on the team. To compare Klay's attitude on the team to Draymond Green, I get it, because he's sulky, because he missed a shot, because he wants it too bad. Klay also carried your ass from January, February, and March to get to playoffs when Curry was out.
Agreed.
And as much as we talk about Jordan Poole changing his roles and DiVincenzo changing his role, Klay Thompson had changed his role too.
What should his role be then?
Well, you see, number 3 option.
Okay.
At least. At the most.
And who's he guarding when you're trotting out your... If you had let's say...
Austin Reeves types, which he did a good job in the first half of the series. Back half of the series, he fell asleep on Austin Reeves.
Okay.
I get that. So those are guys he's going to have to guard.
So then who's Steph guarding?
You got to hide Steph on. That's a problem.
That's
a problem.
So like that.
But Wiggins is guarding the point guard. Klay Thompson is guarding somebody.
That's a lot to ask from Wiggins. Yeah, I hear you. But it's probably the role they're going to ask him to do.
What do you mean? He did it in the finals last year. Did we have short-term memory? He did it all last season.
He did. No,
We
he
can
did.
send it in the playoffs this year.
I understand.
What are
but
we forgetting about Andrew Wiggins? Like, honestly, did we forget about Andrew Wiggins? Who we could guard? Who's Andrew Wiggins
I'm
guarding?
just going around the court and I'm asking
Did he
questions.
not put Jason Tatum and Luka Doncic in Alcatraz?
He did a great job.
So I'm just asking. So Klay Thompson will guard somebody. Not bad. But we just got to scoff at the months he had this season to help you get to the playoffs and then become the third player in NBA history to hit 300 threes in a season.
No, I just think it was more of a mixed bag. And I think that's kind of is symbolic of the Warriors' frustrations throughout the year in general. Like, Steph's great, and then he's hurt. And then, Wiggins is great, then he gets hurt. Then he's gone for quite some time. Klay was bad, then he was good. Then he was back to bad again. Draymond, good one game, bad for a couple games. Like, I think it was a mixed bag for a lot of guys on the team, hence why they got bounced.
Yep, it was. It was a bad year. Look, Klay's not good. He's not the defender he once was. But the fact that you got to hide Steph all the time, that's a problem.
It is. But that's if you're going to be a Steph dependent team, which is what they are, and you're going to be that kind of an organization, well, you've got to insulate him with enough defenders out on the court so that you can hide him. That's the reality. And more than anything, not just because of foul trouble and getting cooked on defense, to save his legs so that he can be the offensive, productive player that you need throughout the bulk of the year and into the playoffs.